Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast, another special episode of our Backstage segment over here at BotCon 2024. And I'm here, and I am privileged sharing time and space with a very special guest who visited us all the way from Missouri, coming out here just to perform today. We have Geekster The Super Nerd.
Hello, everybody. Geekster The Super Nerd, also known as Steve Urkel Jr. himself, nerdcore hip-hop artist. I was fortunate just coming from Mississippi and driving 8.5 hours. I won't lie, I could not feel my legs when I got here Friday, but being able to perform Sunday, it put some life back in me. I won't even lie.
Forgive me, coming all the way from Mississippi. My apologies, y'all. I was so close. I was so close to my M stage.
She got close. You were. I'm not going to lie. You came pretty darn close.
But, man, drove 8 hours and you dropped that fire performance, man. How did that feel?
I was so fortunate because the kind of music I make, it really doesn't get a lot of traction, especially in my neck of the woods. A lot of people, I would dare to say I'm maybe the only person that's publicly making, recording, and releasing music about video games and comic books and anime. So to be able to be given the opportunity to do what I love in front of people that love what I do, I'm beyond grateful. It was worth the trip.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. And I really enjoyed the show because I love hip-hop. I love classic hip-hop, like how your style demonstrates. And I love anime, man. So can you tell us a little bit about that set list that you just dropped, that for those who did not get the fortunate chance to see?
Oh, you all missed a treat. Now, the setup, the track list I got was basically the best songs I've recorded, which was pretty hard because I love all the songs I recorded. But I had to pick Art of Fighting and Dragon Tiger Dance due to the fact that those were my favorite songs. And I always loved the Art of Fighting video game. I grew up playing that. When it came to What Are We Doing, that was inspired by Resident Evil 2. A lot of people really don't understand how complex the relationship is between Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong because, like I said in my performance, they could have been in a relationship. They met in Resident Evil 2, then they reconnected in Resident Evil 4, then they reconnected in Resident Evil 6. So I'm pretty sure anybody that knows the franchise can agree with me when I say the only thing that's stopping them is air and opportunity.
I love your music.
I mean, this is a common problem that we are waiting for our two, what is it called? Our two heroines or our two, what is it? Oh, God, it starts with you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The people that are trying to get them together.
Absolutely. You mean with Deacon?
Well, that was just a super fan. Which shout out to Deacon, we love you. But I mean, you mean in Resident Evil?
Yes, I've been a fan. Like that video game is actually the reason why I grew to love science. The first one, I was like 5 years old. Woke up, I'm hearing so I'm waking up like, what's going on? I'm seeing the zombies getting shot, and they're like, Resident Evil. I'm like, what's it about? Some guy had a science experiment that went wrong. I'm like, science can make that? And I was so excited to the point to where I actually started acing all of my exams in school. And I even started reading anatomy and physiology books. And fun fact for everybody that doesn't know, if I wasn't pursuing a career in music, I actually would have been at Harvard or somewhere trying to get a degree for biotechnology or pharmacy tech. I've always loved it. I always loved science, and I think that would have been a career path for me if music didn't call my name.
How very interesting that quote-unquote violent video game made you want to pursue science to help people, not violence.
That's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it is though. But with me, I've always been a very open-minded person, and I guess with me, I operate and I think on a frequency that a lot of people can't understand. But when I explain it to them, they'll really be like dumbfounded, like, that actually makes all the sense in the world.
Speaking of making sense, man, and one of my new favorite songs that you did out there was one that you said was partially inspired by Inuyasha, the relationship between the main characters Inuyasha and Kagome. Can you tell us a little bit about that song?
Love Hurts. I actually wrote that song the day my second girlfriend broke up with me, and I had no idea how to vent about it. I talked to all my friends about it. That didn't work. I've cried about it a whole bunch of times. That didn't work. So I realized the only way to be able to come to terms with that is to write a song about it. And she was a good girl. She really was a good girl. It's just the fact that when I got involved where I was fresh out of a really bad relationship and I didn't give myself enough time to heal from it. So me knowing she's a good person, but knowing I wasn't ready, I really just made a lot of stuff bad for her. So I wrote this song to let people know that it's okay to heal, and always just let the person know when you're talking to them, hey, I want to pursue this. I am feeling you, but I just need time. Let's just take things slow because I'm still hurting. I don't want this girl. I'm just trying to decompress and collect myself. And that's the lesson I learned the hard way, and that's the message that song presents. Love Hurts.
I can dig that, man. And I mean, and I appreciate you being so candid with that, because I can imagine, that kind of song for any musician, but a piece like that, it's very personal. But I have to comment on your style of rapping and vocalizing. I have to say, first of all, thank you for not going to just go and
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I want to learn how to do it. It's just with me, like, I gotta take baby steps with it. But the goal right now, well, always, now and forever, is to have a message in my music to where the delivery is smooth. You can hear what I'm saying and you're able to process it while I'm performing. And that's always been a big deal with me because I care about what I tell people. I feel like music shouldn't just sound good or make you feel good. It should be something that really makes you look at yourself in a whole different perspective, like food for thought, really.
And I feel that, man. I mean, I'm not nowhere even half as musicianally inclined as yourself, kind of thing. But I mean, I'm from the 80s, 90s, like that classic hip hop. That's what I grew up with, and it's nice, like. And for y'all that didn't get to see, I'm sorry, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of 64 channel stuff going on. Like, y'all didn't have the drench of the verb and delay, but the vocals were right.
I agree. I definitely agree. And one thing that a lot of people have told me is that it's very hard to come across an artist that doesn't cuss in their music. But when I heard Common for the first time, and I had to be in 9th grade. His lyricism was so amazing to me that I decided that I was going to become a better hip-hop artist by writing 16 bars every day for a whole year without cussing. And I got a soul down packed to where I can practically do it in my sleep now.
Wow, that's impressive. But I mean, a 16-bar piece every day for a dang.
It was, but it also just showed the love and dedication. And when I really just think back on it and I look at those verses I wrote, I just see how hungry I was. Not really about the fame, but it's just wanting to be heard, wanting to be able to just show, okay, Kendrick Lamar was a person that influenced me. Common, the Wu-Tang Clan, even Boosie, these artists influenced me. The least I can do is to just show them what they instilled in me. And that's the reason why I go so hard in every song I write and the performances I have.
And it shows, man. Like, not only was I able to, like, process and linger onto every part of the vocals that you were saying, kind of thing, but I was able to follow the journey too, man. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. And I think that's it. I want the goal I'm trying to have. And I remember Kevin Gates said this in an interview. He said, as an artist, Kevin Gates is not just an artist, it's a feeling. And I have the utmost confidence that 5 years from now, maybe even 2.5 years from now, people will be able to say that Geekster The Super Nerd, and even Nerd Music, my label, is not just music, it's a feeling. So that's the goal I have.
Okay, fuck yeah, man. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. We're trying to keep PG this whole time. I'm gonna bleep that in the edits. Don't y'all worry. But I mean, you got your music and you got your brand too. Tell us about the brand, sir.
Well, Nerd Music is a brand that I came up with. I say in when I was 19, and Tupac is also a big influence. And I remember Thug Life was an acronym, and even to this day, people still use that term. So I wanted to use something for nerds and geeks, my people. So I came up with Nerd Music, and what it means is never expecting regular days makes you seek inspiration creatively.
Done.
And when I tell people that it's dumbfounded, and it's not just an acronym, but it really just sums up my whole life. I'm easily inspired by things. And for those of you that get to listen to my music and hear it, you'll also be able to see the inspiration that I get from the most amazing and maybe even unusual places. But by listening to my music, you'll learn to look at things in a whole new light, from a fresh and different perspective.
Well, y'all heard it from the man yourself. You guys need to listen to some damn good music and get on that perspective. And where can they go and listen to your music right now, sir?
It's on all streaming platforms, even on SoundCloud. So everything I got. 4 projects out right now. The one that I'm pushing the most is Innocent But Living Guilty, and it's an album dedicated to my cousin and my brother that are both in prison for murders that they did not commit. So this album, it really just paints the picture of how it is, regardless of how young or how old you are. The justice system will turn its back on you at any given moment. You know, look at them. My cousin, Lil Sip, he was charged with 20 years for manslaughter. Even though he beat the case, it's still wrong. And my younger brother, Keanis, love you, Kato, he was charged 15 years for a murder he didn't commit. Now, he beat his case, but the thing about it is he was convicted of a murder, of another charge that he was innocent of. So I'm just standing tall for those two. And in the midst of that, I also have a mixtape I'm going to be releasing, and it is inspired by Resident Evil, but it will be discussing the effects of COVID-19 using Resident Evil references, and it's called The Nemesis Project. So be on the lookout for that. I've got some amazing nerdcore hip-hop artists. This is going to be a classic mixtape, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. I can't wait.
Well, if y'all aren't following, you need to go ahead and follow Geekster The Super Nerd on Instagram and on all platforms. Go ahead and stream all those mixtapes coming up, that the mixtapes that are released and the ones that are about to come up, kind of thing. Okay, all right. Show some love. Do you have any last bit of advice for the listeners, sir?
If you have a dream or if you have a goal, don't conform to anybody's perspective or philosophy. Even be it your family or your friends, if you have something in your heart that you want to do, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it just because they haven't seen it be done. Look at me. All my life, people have told me nobody would ever listen to my music. Nobody wants to listen to you rap about video games and comic books. Where the hoes at? But look at me now. I'm actually in a 5-star hotel performing nerdcore hip-hop with people that cosplay, people that love the things that I love. So all I can say is, when you find out what your purpose is and you align your life with that purpose, you will be amazed at the doors that open for you and the opportunities that come your way. Just trust the process and tune out the noise.
Well, you heard it from the man yourself. Trust the process, tune out the noise, and support your local artist. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.